Good day, Ms. Sakay. My name is George MANZANO Jr. and I am here to present my report on the Philippine Assembly. After the Filipino-American War and during the era of American colonization, the Filipinos campaigned for a wider political influence in the legislation. William Howard Taft believed that allowing this would strengthen U.S. and Philippine relations. Taft wanted to ensure that America got the support of the Filipinos by listening to their appeals. The campaign for the formation of Filipino Assembly was backed in the United States Congress by Henry Allen Cooper, the chairman of the House Committee on Insular Affairs. The first law passed by the U.S. Congress concerning the government of the Philippines was the Cooper Act, better known as the Philippine Organic Act of 1902. It was passed by Congress on July 1, 1902, and the bill provided that the membership of the Assembly should not be less than 50, but not more than 100, to be equitably apportioned by the Philippine Commission among the provinces. It provided a Bill of Rights for the Filipinos that protected their rights to live, to acquire property, to practice their religion, to be subjected to due process, to exercise their obligations, to enjoy compensations due to them, and freedom of expression. But the most important element in the bill was its clauses that called for the creation of a lower legislative branch with elected Filipino representatives as legislators. But the provisions of the Philippine Organic Act took a bit of time to be enacted because it had conditions that had to be met. First, for general and complete peace in the Philippine Islands. Second, that the Philippine Commission must conduct a census of the population and have the results be published. And third, that peace must be sustained for 2 years after the census had been taken and its results published. The census was completed in 1903 and published on March 27, 1905. However, Governor-General Luke Wright issued a proclamation that it had to reign for 2 more years before elections for the Philippine Assembly would be called, and after 2 more years with no war or dispute, the Philippine Commission notified President Roosevelt, who then authorized Governor Wright to proclaim an election. There were 2 prominent political parties in the 1907 elections: the Nacionalista Party and the Nacional Progresista Party. And on July 13, 1907, the much-awaited first national election for the Philippine Assembly was realized. There were in all 104,996 registered voters, but the number of those who voted were only 98,251. Qualified to vote were males at least 23 years old, and 80 seats were set by the Philippine Commission. The notable personalities who won were Pedro Paterno, Felipe Agoncillo, Leon Maria Guerrero, Manuel Quezon, and Sergio Osmeña Sr. The date October 16, 1907 was historical as the Philippine Assembly was formally inaugurated at the Grand Opera House in Manila. Secretary of War Taft made a special trip to Manila for the sole purpose of attending the inaugural ceremony. He and Governor-General Smith addressed the new legislative body, and Sergio Osmeña was chosen Speaker of the Assembly. Manuel L. Quezon became the majority floor leader, and Vicente Singson as the minority floor leader. Both Osmeña and Quezon were only 29 years old, but both of them were experienced politicians because they had served as provincial governors first before they ran for national seat. After the Assembly created 30 standing committees and elected their respective chairmen that reportedly took 40 minutes, Secretary Taft declared the Philippine legislature open. The major contribution of the First Philippine Assembly was its effort to revive the issue of independence with the cooperation of the Philippine Commission. The Philippine Commission and the Philippine Assembly approved its first joint resolution on October 19, 1907, expressing its gratitude to the President of the United States, the Congress, and the people of the United States in behalf of the Philippine Assembly and Filipino citizens for having bestowed upon them the privilege to participate in political affairs and make laws that directly govern them. Currently, the Philippine Commission and Assembly have been abolished and renamed as the Senate and the House of Representatives, which collectively compose the Congress. This was done in 1916 when the Jones Law changed the legislative system. The legislative system was changed again in 1935 when the 1935 Constitution established a unicameral legislative body called the National Assembly. But in 1940, through an amendment to the 1935 Constitution, A bicameral Congress of the Philippines consisting of a House of Representatives and a Senate was created, and upon the inauguration of the Republic of the Philippines in 1946, Republic Act No. 6 was enacted, providing that on the date of the proclamation of the Republic of the Philippines, the existing Congress would be known as the First Congress of the Republic. The 1973 Constitution abolished the bicameral Congress and created a unicameral legislative body known as the Batasang Pambansa and President Marcos's parliamentary system of government. However, the 1987 Constitution restored the presidential system of government together with the bicameral Congress of the Philippines. Now, if things have been a bit confusing, let me explain the House of Representatives. The House of Representatives composes the lower house of Congress, with the other being the Senate, and lawmakers in the House of Representatives are called as congressmen, congresswomen, or representatives. The Speaker leads, manages, and presides over your House of Representatives. A majority of all the members of the House elects the Speaker. Those who voted for the Speaker belong to the majority, while those who voted for the Speaker's opponent belong to the minority. Representatives belonging to the majority choose the majority floor leader, who automatically chairs the committee on rules, and those in the minority choose the minority floor leader. The other officers of the House of Representatives are the 14 deputy speakers, the Secretary General, and the Sergeant at Arms, who are also elected by a majority of all the representatives. And in the 18th Congress of the Philippines, they are the current elected leaders in the House of Representatives. Senator Alan Peter S. Cayetano is the House Speaker, Honorable Martin Romualdez is the Majority Floor Leader, and Honorable Bienvenido Abante Jr. is the Minority Floor Leader. And lastly, if you aren't aware of what representatives do, I am here to enlighten you. Committees or small groups of representatives study proposed laws called bills and other measures relating to issues and concerns affecting our lives, our communities, and our society. They conduct hearings that give citizens opportunities to express our views on the proposed laws or measures, and to acquire information that is essential to create bills. Employees of the House constituting committee secretariats provide the committees with legislative support services such as research, report preparation, policy studies, and the like. That is all for my report regarding the Philippine Assembly. Thank you and God bless.